Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for participating in this webinar. So this is a series of the webinar that I've been running in the last 3 months. And this time around, I'll be sharing on the information architecture webinar. So basically, information architecture is also one of the key domain architect that equally important with the business architecture as well as with the software or infrastructure and solution architecture. So information architecture, of course, has been emerged in the last, I would say, five years, because of the need to create information that provide a knowledge for the business to make strategic decision making. And of course, the information architecture pretty much initially very dominated among the vendors. So like all the database vendors looking into so-called providing their certification, training, and etc. But my perspective here is more on the skill set, what are required to perform the job if you carry the title of information architect. Okay, so let me just introduce the provider. Actually, the body of knowledge of information architect is coming from ISA. And ISA has developed IT architecture body of knowledge skill set. So let me just briefly explain it. So of course, ISA is the global professional body looking after into the needs of architect practitioners. So they are founded in 2002 in Austin, Texas. And the membership, I think, has grown tremendously, especially in the last 5 years because of the demand in the digital transformation. And of course, non-profit and also run by all the architect practitioners. So there is something good about the association is that all run by the architect, including myself. So many architects from all over the world are contributing into the development and also shaping the future of the body of knowledge. Body of knowledge basically is industry best practices, how architect can master or can perform effectively on their role. And as mentioned that EA has various domain and then specialization. So business architect, information architect, or sometimes people call it data architects, and software architect or application architect, infrastructure architect or technology architect, and solution architects. So basically the discovery of ISA on the profession of architect is that we can teach someone to become architects. So basically there should be a body of knowledge, the skill set that we can impart to architects, to those associate architect or architects, so that they can grow in their career to become a practitioners. And the way ISA did the so-called the ITABOK development since 2004, so about 16 years ago, we started off with the community of the, gathering a survey and also brainstorming, looking for contribution. Then after that, they ISA developed the body of knowledge that currently has been translated to Japanese as well as the English and other foreign languages. So the uniqueness of the body of knowledge, it is supported by the 5 pillars. So the first pillar, they call it business technology strategy. So business technology strategy is a very, very important because it is the pillar that connect business and IT. The second pillar is called human dynamic, because later I will associate that the information architect require to master the human dynamic in terms of communication, presentation, office politics, and etc. Then of course, quality attributes is about all the security in pertaining to the information architect, and also reliability, consistency, and etc. And IT environment like project management, governance, in fact, data governance also playing a critical role for information architect to be effective and also sustainable. Then lastly, on the design skill, how you can model the information architect using information structure like Archimate and meta model and viewpoints. And of course, the specialization of architect itself. So the way architect is being so-called a frame within the enterprise is that it is so-called the catalyst for the organization to drive the transformation. Because what happened is that the outer layer is where we want to achieve in terms of transforming our organization to so-called a better enterprise from today. So this is what they call it a journey of transformation. So the transformation itself, of course, giving us the opportunity to become a thought leaders. We can also transform in terms of customer journey, in terms of the skill set, in terms of the information transformation at the bottom, which is very, very important. And also the operating model and also digital business. So one, of course, the most key of the transformation is the information, because information now the issue that we are facing, many organizations have the data, but it is very difficult to collect the data, to process the data, to turn it to become information. That's why the role of information architect is playing a critical contribution here. How to turn data to become the information, and from information become a knowledge, so that the business can make a particular decision in the timely and in the prompt manner. So this is also many of the industry today. The practices is that they develop a strategy, then after that they go straight into the transformation. This is something that we don't encourage, because if you do this, there is no difference between today, the digital era, and 10 years ago prior to the digital era. So we are just executing the project. So what we need to do, actually, we need to understand the architecture. We need to analyze the impact on the strategy itself, to the business, to the data, to the application, and to the technology. Then after that, we can provide a guideline how we can run the transformation. So this is supposed to be the preferred way, rather than go straight from strategy to the transformation. So what we are trying to achieve is that we want to get a connected enterprise from the strategy to the business to the technology. So of course, technology here talking all the latest trend in terms of the Industrial Revolution 4.0. And of course, if any changes in the technology, they should feedback to the business and right away to the strategy itself. So what we're trying to do is that we are aiming to create a digitally connected enterprise model, because this is, I think, no longer an option in the today era, that every organization need to have a so-called their digital model. This is what I call it also the digital twin of the organization, because now is that because of these last 4 months due to the COVID-19, so we are being forced now to be able to work regardless whether we are in the office or we are anywhere. So there's a need for us to have the so-called model of our enterprise that we can transform even though we are not on site. So eventually what we are trying to do is that we are trying to create the roadmap about digital transformation and the realization, with all the program project office to run multiple projects, and also service delivery and support. So what we need to do is that we need to develop a strategy. So we're looking at the trend, vision, driver, guideline between business strategy and IT strategy. Then after that, we go to number 2. In terms of the digital EA itself, we understand the impact on the business, information, application, and technology. Then from there, we identify the gap in terms of the business gap, application gap, infrastructure gap, and data gap for us to be executed into the transformation roadmap initiative. So with that, I think I will give you a context of how important is information architecture in the context of the digital transformation. Let me now move on into the topic number 2 about key strategic role of information architect specialization. So as I've been mentioning this, that there are 5 architect domain from business, software, solution, information, and infra. So the interesting part about this architect is that business architect is the mandatory role that every architect must possess. So it means if you are not a full-time business architect, if you are a full-time software architect, solution architect, information architect, or infrastructure architect, your secondary role must be the business architect, because business architect is where you connect technology to the business. It is where you can deliver value of technology investment to the business. So in terms of the information architect, basically is someone who creates and refines information architecture and owns the data dictionary or taxonomy governance. So this is very, very important, because without the taxonomy governance, your data will be at a different format, and it's very, very difficult when we need to retrieve or to transform the data. And of course, we call it the person also is as an information strategist, and that design the information structure to support the business. That's why just now I mentioned that very important for information architect to master the role of the business architect, because they need to support the business. And of course, with this, we call him or her as an information troubleshooter to detect potential data inconsistency that may impact business decision-making process. So at the end of the day, when we do a good job in the information architect, is that business people or business team can make a timely decision and can make a so-called predictive, even right now with the help of AI and etc., to drive the transformation or making a decision. Because what happened, even now today, many organizations want to embark to the AI, but they don't have AI, mean artificial intelligence, or robotic, or machine learning, but they don't have the data to support that, and it doesn't work. Many organizations also I come across is that they go straight discussing or engaging the AI vendor. Then after they engage the AI vendor, then the AI vendor asking for data format or source of data, and most of them they cannot provide. And because of that, many of the AI implementation also doesn't turn out to be positive. So what we need to do actually, we need to clean up all the entire data, our information structure. We need to have information architecture in place. Then after that, we can easily adopt all the industry 4.0 technology, like machine learning, predictive maintenance, and smart enterprise, or artificial intelligence and robotic, etc. All right, so in terms of the training, so I think some of you, if you're the first time listening to my webinar, I think I've explained this previously. So we have the path for someone to become the information architect. So the red color path is a recommended path for someone to, before you take the information architect itself, we would recommend you go from the bottom on the left there. We call it business IT architecture fundamental, whereby you can understand the business challenges, IT challenges, and what the mechanism for business and IT to work together. Then you go through the architecture core about the journey, how you establish or adopt the architecture to drive the transformation. Then you go through the TOGAF 9.2 to understand the framework. Then you learn about the Archimedes, the modeling tool, the modeling platform language. Then you go into the business technology strategy before you go to information architecture specialization. So this is a typical path to become an information architect. And of course, what I just mentioned about digital twin. So this is basically the left-hand side is where our enterprise is, consists of the knowledge, people, process, and technology. And interestingly is that the knowledge typically stay in the department or in the people. So if you are not belong to that department or to the people, it's very difficult for you to get that knowledge or information. People normally don't like to share. So if that's the case, then it's very hard or difficult for an organization to do transformation. So what we need to do is that we need to create a digital enterprise map. We need to map the motivation and strategy layers with the capability, strategy, outcome, and etc. Then from there, we look at the impact on the particular motivation or strategy to the business itself. So we look at the processes, we look at the function, we look at the department, and etc. Then of course, we also look at how the technology suitability in terms of supporting the business. So we look at the application layer, we look at the technology layer, as well as information data layer. So if you notice here, information data layer almost touching all layers. From the motivation, we need to know what are so-called the dashboard or requirement from the senior management, what they need, the data that for them to make wise decision making in a timely manner. And also for the business, what information required. So the business here can also be a customer journey. What are our customer required information from us? Then from the application in terms of the integration of the various data sources, as well as the technology, the infrastructure to connect. So information data layers are quite critical to the success of the transformation today if you want to create a digitally connected enterprise. And of course, the last part is about the how do we run the transformation project. So all about the initiative and transformation execution plan. Okay, with that, let me just move on into topic number 3 about information architecture fundamental. So this is, by the way, 4 days training. So I just extracted a couple of the slide. Yeah, I will say couple of the slide because the material is quite thick. So I just extracted out some so-called enough for us to digest as informational content. Okay, so what is the purpose of information architecture? I think can be summarized in this simplistic way. Basically, we want to extract or transform or load from the multiple of various data sources. Then we put it into the data warehouse like a cube, right? Then after that, we need to process that data. After that, we turn it into the like OLAP analysis, reporting, data mining, or dashboard. So basically, in essence, this is the simplistic way. What is the so-called the information architecture end-to-end? And of course, now when you talk about information, they got a few level of the so-called layers. The first one is called data. So data is basically, if you talk about production, is the raw material. So basically, we need to basically understand the data, get the data, connect the data, and how the data can be collated to perform so-called something that are quite informative. And of course, eventually to become a knowledge. So basically, all the output could be coming from, IoT, Internet of Things, or perhaps from external party. How we can basically gather the data so that we can connect the data and group them accordingly. The next one, of course, information. It's basically how we organize for a purpose, how we organize the data for a purpose. So we are looking at the record or transmit a message in terms of the ordering sequence, and of course, how to summarize of data. So we look at the where the data come from, is there any interdependency, and of course, how we connect the dot, connect the data to turn it to become information. The next one is knowledge. Knowledge is the product of information. So basically, how we package various sources of information that has been analyzed, and we need to assign a meaning. Of course, now we're talking about the meaning. The meaning here is basically we are talking about what actually the stakeholder wanted. So we need to know who are our key stakeholders. We need to capture their motivation and see how the knowledge can help them to make so-called a better decision, and also make decision making in the timely and of course wise manner. And knowledge is also a set of belief that we create from information, and of course it is the interpretation of information itself. So again, how do we interpret? We need to know who are our key stakeholders, what they are looking for, and from there we provide a value, which is the next topic of my presentation. So information architect is playing a key role in transforming data from information to knowledge and assisting key stakeholders for strategic business decision making process. So at the end of the day, we need to understand how the data is being used by the key stakeholders. That is so-called the most important part. It's not about how do we massage the data, how do we connect the data. That's important, yes, it's important, but the most important part is that how the data itself can be used or can be consumed by the key stakeholders. So what skill sets are required as an information architect? Yeah, so this is basically just the reiteration. The important or in balancing the art and science of information architecture skill set. So what do I mean by art and science? Art is where you need to practice. Art is where how you can adapt to the environment, how you can understand the people, and how you can propose so-called a solution. Whereby the science is how you do things. So science you can learn from the book. You can read the Wikipedia. You can enroll into the school, and you can learn the science. But the art is the one that make you unique, make you so-called turns the information to become our work to become value. It's through the art, not through the science. Science is about how you do it, but the art is where you can deliver something like quick win or value to the key stakeholders. So here, looking at the whole system design and integrity is very, very important skill. And of course, business architecture and capability is also very, very important. So when you want to be successful in our role as an information architect, we need also to master the business architecture, and we also need to understand business capability. Then of course, business technology strategy. You cannot run between business and technology in the today digital era. So all these two need to be integrated together. Then of course, you need to be also act as a domain expert, as a technologist. So you also need to understand about the trend, the current technology trend. And of course, we as an information architect, we cannot be ignorant like a compliance expert. So, you know, they got many organizations get fined by the authority because they leak out certain information. Again, I'm not judging here, but I'm not so sure whether they have a real information architecture team inside the organization, or they just outsource to, you know, to the data team that are managing the data. Because information architect is expected to know the rule, to know the law, to know the regulation, so that the practices need to be compliant. They also need to know the governance. Yeah, and of course, information architect skill set is also a technology strategies for the business. And we also need to understand that information is the so-called a living thing. So we need to know that how long do we need to keep the data, what's the life cycle, and etc. So these are some of the skill requirements. And the value of information architects, this is a real, I don't know, have you ever come across to maybe wondering why doing a job like, you know, 5 minutes can cost few $100, whereby we have to work like maybe 1 day or few days to get that money. So this is what happened. A man once approached a well-known surgeon and said, you make money in a day, then I make in a year. So 1 year is 365 days. So this guy make money in a day, and whereby I need to work 365 days in a year. I don't think it is fair. It's what you do so special. So the surgeon replied, well, surgery itself is not that complicated. So surgery is like, remember just now the art and science? This is at the science part. I could probably teach you to do it in a few weeks. What takes the training and the skill is knowing when not to operate. This is the art, when not to operate. And what to do when something goes wrong. Learning those two things can take years. So I hope we can contextualize this. Basically is that we need to have some sort of the best practices, someone who have done it correctly or successfully, and learn from it, because normally that person already done so many mistakes. That's why exactly the body of knowledge that are imparted into the training of these courses has so-called documentation of those people who have done it successfully. So the value of information basically is that it is true that every professional architect today, and of course, if you are an experienced information architect, you must possess the skill set and ability to transform from data to information to knowledge. So this is taken. Everybody need to have that skill. And of course, the general approach to design that is that we need to know how to identify and communicate the optimal design for a given business scenario. So this is something that if you want to differentiate between you or me and the rest of the practitioners in terms of the data engineer or data scientist, etc., we need to know how to communicate the optimal design for a given business scenario. So the context here is the business. It's not about the technicality on the particular, technology domain, but about how we justify our information architecture work or artifacts to the business. So information architect also act as an information designer. So basically architecture talking about style, pattern, and the design. And design, of course, is the fundamental skill of information architects. So, of course, now fortunately, we have the language like Archimate. We can connect the Archimate to the class diagram or to the entity relationship diagram so that we can visualize the data or information structure and relationship in the more clearer way. And of course, information architect also need to make a design decision. Sometimes we need to do trade-off between quality attributes and trade-off to address user system business requirement as well as constraint. Because sometimes we only given like short time and limited budget, but we still need to do the job. That's why information architect need to be able to do a trade-off and the balancing act. And of course, information architect also need to act as a leader, because you need to lead and influence the team of your solution. Because you need to be able to convince them and explain why you choose particular decision in terms of your design. And of course, you need to also provide a mentorship and guidance so that your team can grow. So yeah, let me just continue. So information architect work with the various teams. First, you need to work with the key stakeholders. So this is something that people ask, what's the difference between information architect or data architect, say with the data scientist or data engineer or database system administrator? The key difference is that information architect work with the key stakeholders. Key stakeholders is someone typically holding a senior position in the organization. Then of course to them is that they need to speak the business lingo. That's why just I mentioned that the information architect need also to master the role of the business architect. So you need to understand the so-called the business in terms of the strategy, motivation, driver, processes, and etc. Of course, with the engagement managers and with the business architect. So because the business architect is where you get all the insight about the information that you are going to develop or deliver. Then to the developer and tester in terms of the what data are required to be input and also to be tested. With the software architect, how you develop a so-called the module, what data need to be passed on between the two module, two system, etc. Then infrastructure architect in terms of the hosting the data, how do you secure that? How do you encrypt? How do you backup? And solution architect is what technology best suit for this particular requirement. Then of course you also work with data scientists in terms of the guiding them in terms of the implementation, how they can so-called format or connect particular data. And of course, must master also communication skill, because communication skill are very, very important. It's about transferring information from one entity to another. So we need to send the message, we need to communicate, you need to come out of various lists like here. Perhaps you need to come out the auditory, you need to present or non-verbal, such as a body language, and also media, such as email, memo, newsletter, and also dashboard for information presentation. So communication can be done in the various means, but information architect need to know which channel or which medium that can deliver the most effective message. So in terms of communication skill, there should be around business alignment, perspective awareness, and communication. So these are something very important when we want to deliver technical solutions. So when we talk about technical solution, do not always talk on jargon of the technology, but we also need to know the business context. Yeah? And this is the irony also that documented by Aisa. Most architects acknowledge their importance of this area and yet fail to make them real priorities during the project life cycle. So I would encourage all of us to remember this, that we need to contextualize the business when we present or communicate our solution. Topic number 3, information and strategy. So of course, information now is very strategic. Yeah, because bring together the aim of the company, understanding of the information, and also implementation system to provide the information. So basically, the role of information system, even in fact, this one is like 1989, like already like 30 years ago. But I think now 40 years ago, but now I think has already grown into the embedded into our society, that information playing a critical role. And of course, something that we also need to know that the essential of the planning process in the mind of decision makers, how the user and developer also approach in developing a system. That's also very important. So the challenges, some of the challenges that information architect may face: politics. So politics, something that we cannot avoid, but we can maneuver. So we are trying to, if possible, that don't run away as far as possible. If really cannot run that far, we just need to maneuver with the current political situation in our office. And governance is very important, because we can't run the information architect efficiently without the governance. So everybody have to follow the rule, the guideline that being set by the architects. And of course, data availability is very important. So we need to know when the data should be available. If not available, what should we do? So we have a plan B. And regulatory as well, so that we don't get involved or implicated with the so-called regulatory fine or warning. Of course, sharing across department, business unit, and partners is also very important. How do we keep the privacy about the data? Because I think the data privacy now also the big topics in the last 5 years. So we need to make sure that the information architect also need to be familiar and understand the constraint. And of course, the resources that we have. And and many people said, I don't want to change. We have always done it this way. So these are something information architect also need to justify, need to educate the user how we can avoid so-called major shifting in terms of what they do, so we can do a gradual incremental transformation instead of the sudden transformation. The cost when information error or not available. So this is some of the, I think we know about this mistake lah. There are many mistakes. In fact, a couple years ago, even I think quite a number of the e-commerce website, they put the wrong pricing. But however, most of the situation that I come to know in the so-called newspaper, they honor that the particular person who order the particular price. Of course, company lose money because someone that didn't put the right information in terms of the pricing. So you buy and actually the pricing is, you just missing 1 0. 1 0 is between 100 and 1000, right? Missing 1 digit. And yeah, somebody have to pay the price. But yeah, so it's quite embarrassing. And in some instance that when the information got error, can cause death. So this is serious. The machine may cause, head wire and cause a fatality. Of course, like nuclear meltdown, loss at sale and loss productivity. I think I mentioned about that. And these are some of the so-called statistics that cost company 2,700 per user per year. So these are something of we cannot get the information, so we've been waiting for the data to be available. So that's why it's very critical now for an organization to have a so-called the proper information architecture team and the governance, scope, roles and responsibilities so that they can be accountable to make sure that the information are in the proper orderly manner. So of course, very important to understand the business context because information is the core of all decision in the business. So we need to know empower facts, not guesses or assumptions. So we need to know the fact finding. So that's why we need to get the data. We need to do market research, perhaps logistic or advertising, inventory, quantity, location, and also the processes, procedural, intellectual property is very, very important because we need to protect our intellectual property. Yeah. Imagine if you remove all the information from a company, what is left? Nothing. Unless you are the factories. Factory also got machinery. Machinery also need so-called the sales team, marketing data to maintain, to order. So everything need information. But so far in the last, I would say 30 years, we have not been looking into the connecting the information properly because we are just looking at the implementing a system. So we get a new database, create a new table, and etc. So now is the time for us to do stock taking, for us to do so-called integration. So the benefit of information strategy, basically it's forcing us to think outside the box in terms of the efficiency, growth, and creativity. We need to look at embracing the change, and of course leveraging existing asset and maximize the reuse of information. This is very, very important. That's why yeah, the information architecture one of the so-called important, I would say quite significantly important today for an organization to have the team or someone to look into this. Yeah. So when implementing information as a strategy, we are basically create an opportunity to in terms of the scale and the time, and then looking at the appropriate scale and time spent for the task at hand. So we are looking at the competitive advantage and sustainability because we know exactly what information we have, what are our competitor information we have, what are the industry information that we can have. Yeah, in terms of the scale, segmentation, availability, and cost, understand impact analysis. We need to have some sort like digital enterprise map for traceability. And of course, the most important part is be realistic, not optimistic, because we cannot just pray hard, but we also need to think on the what exactly we have and what are the limitations and what we can do, say, in the short term. So going where you currently are, the checkpoint basically is looking at the list below. The greater the level of an agreement, if you say very strongly agree, then the better your organization in managing information strategy. Okay, a comprehensive information strategy that has been developed for this organization, right? Whether your rating is the strongly agree, of course, you strongly agree, then you are good. A wide variety of senior and middle managers as well as professionals from both information and non-information function actively participate in strategy development session. So if you are your organization are so-called strongly agree on this, then and you have seen that you have done this, then you are good. In designing our information strategy, those in charge clearly articulated the difference between technology and information. If someone can differentiate this, and yeah, you are in the good shape. One or more senior managers is responsible for implementing the information strategy. So if more people except than you can do the information strategy, that's a good news. Of course, last but not least is about our information strategy is easy to understand and take a position on key information issue in the organization. So someone basically, you can see here, the important to have the information strategy, because information strategy is where you can gather, you can position, you can provide the information in a timely manner. So some of the business quick win with information strategy is that you can manage your brand and reputation, because what happened is that you will have a direct impact if your information is being compromised or customer data gets stolen. Your brand and reputation also will be impacted. I think recently last week got another big company got stolen all their data, customer data. So this also will impact their brand and reputation. Of course, improving your processes and the procedures are very, very important. Maximizing return on your investment also very, very key. So we need to make sure that we have information strategy in place. and of course contributing to product evolution that works. So we are looking about what is the life cycle of our product, our customer buying pattern, and etc. So of course there are many other quick wins that we can think through about information strategy. So in summary, about information strategy is that aligning to the business with informational needs and goals are very, very important. And of course, aligning information with the system, which will be delivered through, also very, very important. So we make sure that our technology are capable to support our information processing needs. Of course, we need to be clear, concise, easily understood, and information itself being utilized and documented. And of course, available in terms of the to various parties rather than vacuum. So basically is that we know the certain key stakeholders, certain user that will be using our information. And the good news is that there is no single right way. So basically is that we cannot say that I've done it this way, the next you follow another people company, but everything is an art. So an art is where we need to adapt. That's why we need to have the right skill set so that we can adapt accordingly. So my last topic is about relating information to value, because this is, I think, very, very key. Today, in fact, I don't know how many of you received the email that someone trying to sell the data about this particular client, conference, etc. So I often receive this type of email, and they are charging between 50 cents to a few dollars, but actually it's illegal. But we can't really stop this, but because they got the data and they know that someone may need that information, so they're trying to sell. So obviously this one is that information is valuable, then people willing to buy the information. Like for instance, that if you want to even like the investment, if you know certain thing that is even rumors, etc., you jump into it, then if really become true, then you can make money. So information is now can also be traded as like currency or oil. Definition of value and information. So value is the worth of something in terms of the amount of other things for which it can be exchanged, or in terms of some medium of exchange. So the information is the knowledge communicated or received concerning a particular fact or circumstances. So basically is that both have desirability and of course got intrinsic excellence and value. So three sets of information. First, of course, they got the raw data. So raw data basically is that has not been processed, so only a list of the field or information. Then the second one is information realized as available. So this one is already formatted, so the data can be turned as information. And the next one is the knowledge. Eventually, the knowledge is gleaned and value created. So gleaning process is basically takes time. You get incrementals. You're like connecting the dot. So at the end, you can make a strategic decision making. Of course, like today context, we can put the AI. Once you have the clean data that are connected, you can put artificial intelligence to churn out the data to make it, machine learning or cognitive computing and etc. So value of information. So basically, it has multipliers in terms of the time, and then the quality, accuracy, as well as respect and proven expertise in the domain. So this is where the channel of the value of information. And in terms of the processing, so basically we need to know cost to store and make available for consumption, because the information need to be protected. So we cannot just put it into the database. We need to protect by encryption, by backup, by secure transaction. And of course, cost to transpose into usable format or structure. So you may need to turn it into the cube, into the data mart, into the data warehouse. And after that, cost to collect and analyze, where we need to do a so-called artificial intelligence, as well as all coming up with the dashboard charting and cost saving generated. So in terms of the looking of the when we can purchase, when we can keep, when we can purge the particular data. So in terms of the relevancy, we are looking at the quality and context, especially to the direct consumer. And of course, for the business itself, in terms like problem resolution, decision making, and of course structure and format for the presentation. For the exclusivity, basically is that maybe a restricted access, that only a certain people can access that information. and various channel you can distribute via a digital way or printed in a book and verbally in person. But nowadays, I think less people are printing in a book. So either you go into the mobile device with the encryption and etc. So selecting information valuation method. This actually the Gartner slide. So you can you can learn more from the Gartner if you want to deep dive further. But one thing that I want to highlight is that here is looking at the on the left hand side, looking at the foundational measures. On the right hand side, looking at the financial measure. So let me just highlight to you on the foundational measure first. So talking about intrinsic value, how correct, complete, and exclusive is this data? So this is basically something that we need to answer. In terms of the business value, how good and relevant is this data for specific purpose? So can business make a decision out of that? And performance value, how does this data affect our key business driver? So we need to look at this type of so-called checklist when we come out with the information value. Then in terms of the financial measures about the cost value, what would it cost us if we lost this data? So can you afford? If someone steal our data, what would the cost to the organization? Okay, in terms of the market value, what good could we get from selling or trading of this data? So you'll not be surprised that people are now is trading the information, right? Like the news, you develop the news and some of the news agency buy from you. Then the next one, of course, economic value. How does this data contribute to our bottom line? So whether if we understand this data, can we fix all our bottom line issue? Of course, as I mentioned just now, you cannot stop. People are buying and selling the information. So we need to be careful in terms of what information can leak out, and we also need to know all the privacy data rule and law in our specific countries. And of course, don't sell yourself out of business. So you think the data is not important, you think again, because most of the actually crime that take place is actually coming from internal stuff. The majority is more from the internal rather than external hacking. And this is something I think you have heard many times. So data is the new oil. So basically now is that if you get the more data and if you can find or match with the buyer, and you can sell that data at a high price. So we need to find it, of course, extract it, refine it, distribute it, and monetize it. Of course, talking about this, we need to be ethical. We need to know the rule. We need to know the regulation that are being regulated in the industry. So relating information to value summary. So basically, information can be exchanged for other information or money. Therefore, it has a value. And value of information depend on its relevant processing and exclusivity from the consumer viewpoints. And of course, value of information is often up for debate, but when used to the fullest potential to make decisions, solve problem, or create opportunity, the value is more easily realized.